Good evening, everybody. Ken Rodriguez with NAGP GT1 Thursday Night Racing, coming to you from the Adelaide Street Circuit in Australia. But before we go any further, please allow me to introduce my co-host this evening, Jack Ivy. Jack, good day, mate.
Hey, it's good to have you back, Ken. I missed you on that big long endurance opener we had at Paul Ricard. But we're all back, all cylinders firing, ready to go tonight.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I certainly missed it, and for those of you out there, I was missing in action last week, but you did get the broadcast with Brad and Jack, and of course, we always appreciate the work that Brad does, filling in whenever necessary, as we all try to help each other out. So, Jack, we're at Adelaide Street Circuit. It is in Adelaide, Australia. This is one heck of a street course for these GT1 cars. Narrow street circuit in some areas, plenty of room in others, and very slick out there.
Yeah, they've had some damp conditions in their early practice tonight, but they're going to have to try and keep it off the guardrails here, which looks like it's going to be a tough job for them because everybody's bouncing around like crazy. Very similar to Monday night where we had a street course as well. You know, we got 16 corners and it's not an easy circuit. And boy, I drove this in the GT1 cars. Real hard to get the power down without losing it around this course.
Yeah, it certainly is. I've driven it also. This street circuit in certain areas has some very high safety curbs. They upset the car if you go too far over them and try to lay the power down. You're just going to loop it, and you will be facing oncoming traffic. It is to be said, however, that we are running the shorter of the two track layouts that are available for this street circuit. So this track configuration is just a little over 2 miles long. It's got a little bit of everything, and that center chicane, that turn 1, 2, 3 complex is going to be a point of contention for a lot of these folks because we've seen that they've jumped the curbs, and there is the 10% cut rule in effect.
Yeah, not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 90-degree turns, 9, a real high-speed sweeping right-hander, 11, almost, 180 degrees, and 16, the same, the Mistral hairpin, the last, corner. Real tough course. It's going to be a challenge for an hour and a half.
Yep, that it is. And we got to give kudos to these folks for hanging in there. Those that finish will certainly be the beneficiaries of hopefully some points tonight. We'll have to see how this plays out.
Yeah, we got a couple of subs in tonight. We got Alex White Lightning in there for David Rowley, and of course Brad Maris has jumped in the Panos for Chris Moses. So a couple of really top-notch subs tonight.
Yeah, and speaking of Brad Maris, boy, I got to tell you, he's got that Panos looking very racy around this tight street circuit tonight. So perhaps he's had some practice time, perhaps not, but I can tell you that his car is looking very quick out there.
Well, again, in early practice, last week David Pohl was showing some blistering speeds again, and in early practice he's doing the same. So he is really liking that big Ford GT.
He certainly is. He was laying down some blistering laps at 1:16.2, I believe, the last that I took a look at David Pohl's times. But we've got a lot of racy guys out here, a lot of racy drivers tonight. John Ludden, not to be taken lightly. He's always someone who's lately been running up in the front with the GT1 runners. Eiran Parsons driving the Lister Storm. Ryan Schleif, another up-and-comer in GT1 NAGP. So a lot of good racing expected here tonight.
Well, these are... I don't want to take anything away from the Monday night crowd. I love the Monday night crowd. But these guys that run both Monday and Thursday night, these guys are something special when it comes to, NAGP. It's the cream of the crop here, boys.
That it is. That it is. So, if we can, for a moment, take a look at some of the standings right now. Looking right now, first and foremost, we have the Drivers' Championship. So Eiran Parsons currently after the 2 rounds at Paul Ricard is leading the way with 29 points, and Alex White in second with 20. Running as an independent, so I don't know how exactly that works out for the driver championship. The fact that he scored 20 points at Paul Ricard.
No, I have no idea either. But what I found really interesting was the Marty Eiran and Thomas Schubeck. That team picked up 28 points. Because they were the only team to finish as a team last week at Paul Ricard. I mean, we only had 8 cars running at the end, so that team has done really well. So that's going to help their team championship points. Of course, Parsons and Calderon are in the lead with 29. That's all Parsons points right there. Not taking anything away from you, Sergio, but get on the gas pedal there, brother.
Yep, let the brake pedal, get off the brake pedal and get on the gas pedal. Yeah, so certainly T broke Dam Bam GT1 in the list of Storm, 29 points. Panzerfaust 28 puts them 1 point behind a phenomenal team. And then you got Amcan Racing driving the Aston Martin DBR9 with 20 points. So a little bit of a gap there going back to third. Too early in the season to tell anything right now, but it's certainly good conversation.
Yeah, it's way early, but the guys are gonna have to settle down too. We got a bunch of penalties, and it looks like the CC committee this year is doling them out the way they should be. Schleif has got 10 kilograms. Marty has got 40 kilograms for a violation of the lockdown rule, and he has been put on probation. Matt Taylor's got 10 kilos, and Prato's got 10 kilos. So they're throwing them out there this season, Ken.
Yeah, they are. And you know what? It's we want you folks that are watching by the broadcast, we want you to know that this is not what the league is about. However, to keep things fair and to make it fair for everyone, these actions at times are necessary, because almost every incident that happens, there is an offender and then there's a victim to it. So these penalties are doled out for actions taken, and it seems that the CC's got it right this time. They're allowing the penalties to fit the offense.
Yeah, these guys, it's all volunteer here, guys. So they're doing a great job. They're doing the best they can. They spend hours at it, as we do, preparing for your Thursday night show. Back to the qualifying just quickly. We got Alex White has jumped out in the lead over top of David Poole, with a 1:15.9. Now, something to keep in mind, Alex White's carrying 66 pounds, and his first sector and his second sector are above David Poole's, but he is picking it all up in the last sector. So Alex White's got something figured out there.
Yeah, he certainly is. We just switched over to the timing board right now, and we're showing that to our folks online. So Alex White, while not the fastest, he's got, like you said, in that last sector, he's got something figured out. But he and Poole are separated by only 3/100ths of a second. Go figure.
Yeah, it's amazing. I knew they were setting down some hot times out there, and John Sportelli as well. He is right there with a 1:16.111.
I don't know what the heck these guys are doing to get so fast there, Jack, but man, oh man, they're just blistering.
I don't know if it's in the water they're drinking or what, but I want all I can get of it. And Brad Maris, again, as a sub, he is right there at a 1:16.190. So I mean, Brad's right there. So we've got lots of guys there all the way up to the top 8 spot in the 1:16s.
And what's funny is that when you get familiar with the league and the drivers that are driving in the NAGP GT1 as well as the GT2, everyone has such a distinct driving style. You take a look at Brad Maris, the calculating driver. Everything is planned out, and there's a strategy behind his driving. Then you have the raw talent drivers such as John Ludden, Alex White, and the likes. So very interesting combination of how these folks approach their racing hobby.
You got that right. as you said, some of these guys have just got pure talent out there. And one that comes to mind is Ian Jolicoeur, who jumps in a car. Quite often we get him on the vet saying, "Hey, what track are we at tonight, guys?" And goes out there and is always competing for a top 10 spot. So some of these guys just amaze me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, all of them do.
Yep, absolutely. I have to agree with you. So, like, it lends credit to the fact that we have a very diverse amount of driving styles here. Everybody's different. I can spend 20 hours driving and still be mid-pack where, boy, I'll tell you, if one of these fast guys spent as much time practicing as I did, there'd be no stopping them.
Well, it's good to see we've got Jared Keen's come out tonight. Paul Hall's back out tonight. Sam Rolfe's back out. A few of the guys that we've been missing didn't see in the last week's race, so it's good to see them out there.
It certainly is. We're of the belief the more the merrier. There can never be too many. Of course, there would be those that disagree with that, but I happen to say that the more people you have out there, more fun time, more people that you get to race against.
Yeah, everybody loves the big fields, Ken. So that's what we want to see. We want to see the grids packed up. We want to see lots of cars on track in action all the way around, and the drivers do too.
Absolutely, and I will tell you folks that are watching online this much. GTR2, it may be a little bit long in the tooth, but the competition that is afforded with the NAGP GTR2 League is very real. It is still top quality competition. So if you still have a copy of GTR2 laying around, load it up on your computer, come on out and race with us. I promise you will not regret it.
And while we're doing the the schmooze stuff, guys, dig into your pocketbooks, throw us a couple of bucks. The league's run on donations. It's not going to break the bank. You spend more on your cable TV and your other vices, so throw the league a couple of bucks and keep the wheels turning here at NAGP.
Yeah, and Jack, now that you mentioned that, I want to give a huge thanks to the supporters of the NAGP League. This month we exceeded the $300 goal, so a huge thank you to everyone who thought to donate and acted upon it. We sincerely thank you for making the financial burden here at NAGP a little lighter this month, and we hope to see more of that.
Yeah, I'm glad you reminded me. I've been tardy. I haven't made my season contribution yet. I got to get on that.
Oh, tisk. I did just make mine last week, so I'm glad that I got that out of the way. I actually do it monthly. It works well for me. Just throwing a little something into the league every month because they do provide a fantastic atmosphere. And while joining the league and racing is free, to run the league is not free. So that's why we ask for donations for anybody who's interested to or is able to make that donation.
Well, back at it. David Poole has gone up to P1 now with a 115.760. Sportelli has jumped up. Oh, look at that. Sportelli in white. A 115.777 for Sportelli and a 115.778. What is that, the paint on the bumper?
Oh my goodness, that is fart in the wind, I guess. 1/1000th of a second. I'm sure that Alex White on this hot lap is going to have an answer, as he is 0.076 up on pole pace right now. So we're going to follow along with Alex White right now as he takes it through one of the turns, trying to hold it together. Coming up on he's in the third sector. This is his strong sector here. Oh, he takes it a little wide though. But he sets a new pole record with a 115.678.
Yeah, it wasn't that wide.
Not wide enough.
Oh man, boy, oh boy, that is throwing the gauntlet down.
Yep, that it is. Amazing. So Alex White, not to be denied, carrying weight too, eh?
Yes, yeah, that's 66 pounds. Now, that might be fine out here, on an out lap and a hot lap or two. on soft tires, but that 66 pounds may grind on his tires. We know he is a beast on tires as the race wears on, so that might grind on him in over a period of an hour and a half.
That it might. So with about 13 minutes left to go, we're on board with David Poole, who is currently on an out lap. We're going to stick with David Poole and see if we can capture his entire hot lap. But looks like David Poole's going to try and answer back to Alex White.
Yeah, and he's jumped ahead of John Sportelli, so we got White, Poole, Sportelli, and Maris all in the 15s.
Oh, and that about diminishes his chances for answering right now. He did get tangled up with a McLaren F1.
And that probably was Jared Keane. And good on Jared, I'm down there, there's, that goes to show you how competitive this whole league is. We got the 115, 678 for Alex White, and you go down to 20th, and you got 117, 641, 2 seconds, first to 20th.
That is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. These guys are really putting it on, letting it all hang out and putting it all out there, eh?
Yeah, and at these times, it is going to be on this street course. There is going to be a lot of action.
Now we've got John McIntyre back in 24th right now. Seems to be struggling a little bit. Looks like he may not have had the practice that he wanted to get in on this track for this week. So we just want to encourage you, Johnny. Keep it moving, keep it going, and get out there on track. Give it a try.
He's only put in one hot lap.
Back on board with your second position driver, David Poole, driving the Big 4 GT. He is now coming around the last turn, turn 16, headed for the start-finish line. And into the center chicane, he lets the headlights go on to let people know, say, hey, get out my way, I'm on a hot lap.
Hey, you know what? There's just a thought here, and, this is just, hey, all you viewers, you got to take everything I say with a grain of salt. But here we got Johnny Mack and Gup Douglas are both teammates. Johnny Mack's gone out and put one hot lap in at 127. I know that's not his lap times. Gup Douglas isn't even out qualifying. What's up? I'll tell you what I think's up. I think they're sandbagging it tonight, and they're going to start at the back, and they're going to pick up 6 or 7 spots right on the first lap carnage.
Very, very observant of you, Jag, and probably very accurate too. So David Poole, 0.792 above the pole pace, so he is not quite on pace right now, and I know he's probably trying to dig in as much as he can to answer Alex's pole setting time. Going to be difficult to do with so many racers out on the track. Trying to get a clean lap around here is going to be very hard to accomplish.
Yeah, but these guys are all pretty good. Hopefully they'll get that out of the way, let the guys get through and get their hot laps in, and it's usually not too bad. I haven't had much trouble during qualifying the last few seasons.
Nope, certainly not. But and what do you do when you're on your own hot lap? That's probably your best. You got somebody as quick as David Poole coming up behind you. It's a tough call sometimes.
Well, everybody's entitled to put in their hot lap. That's my opinion. I'm on a hot lap, you're on a hot lap. Hey, I'm entitled to get my hot lap in too, even though it might only be good for 20th or 18th or 15th. That's still my hot lap.
Yep, absolutely, I agree. And therein why I stated sometimes it's a hard call when you got somebody that's faster coming up on you, and you may be working on that perfect for you hot lap.
Yeah. Now, just a quick little update here. Their conditions are now showing clouds, a forecast for rain. I know the track is still dry at 100 degrees, but the forecast doesn't look good.
Oh, and with about 8.5 minutes left of qualifying, we certainly can see some weather moving pretty quickly around here. But we're going to hope that these guys can at least finish out their qualifying in the dry, even if they end up with some wet stuff on the track for the race. It should be sufficient to set up a very interesting grid.
Now, I'm just watching John Ludden go around, and he's pulled up onto some traffic. That's going to cost him, but he was really close in that split sector time.
John Wathen putting it into the wall and parking it. Thomas Schubeck running 17th right now, driving the Nissan GTR.
Yeah, good effort by Thomas. And as I mentioned earlier, you know, the team is Schubeck and Eiran. Boy, they did all right last week.
Schubeck and... No, not Eiran. It was Schubeck and...
Rich Roman, I'm sorry.
And Roman. That's
sorry.
right, yep. So Alex White still out there on pole. Just finished another hot lap, about 1 second slower than his pole time. David Poole still out there trying to answer Alex White back. John Sportelli driving the Lamborghini Murcielago out in third. Getting a little loose down the straight. Has to slow it way down. And Brad Maris currently qualifying in fourth position. Driving the Panos GT1.
Well, you know, 1 to 6, you're talking 0.2 of a second separate 1 to 6. So we're talking, you know, hundreds and thousands right now. So it's really tight up there.
Yep, that it is. Boy, I saw Ian Jolicoeur coming around that last turn, giving somebody the lights in the business, saying, get out of my way, but he parks it. Bjorn Heyman driving the Pirelli shod McLaren F1 car, currently sitting in 11th, trying to better his time, trying to get a top 10 run going here. Currently on his hot lap.
Yeah, that's a great run for Bjorn. And Mikey Greatrix sitting in 12th. This is a great run for Mikey.
Yep, Mike Greatrix driving the Saleen SR7. Now, this is the Pirelli shod version of the car. No slouch. Everybody talks about the Michelin and etc. etc. But boy, I gotta tell you, I'm a believer in the Pirellis. As Mike kind of loops it there, going a little too hot into the corner.
I just got that too. Broadcaster's curse. We
Yeah.
seem to do it all the time.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, you're not kidding.
But you know, there's another one too. You know, Paul Hall. Let me just check this out. No, Paul's put in a few laps, but you know what? He's only got 4 hot laps in. These guys are playing some sort of game down there tonight.
Yeah, I don't know, Jack. You might be right. You might be right. Now, are there any no-qual penalties? I know that we went over the penalties before, but are there any no-quals?
I'm going to check quick, but I didn't think so.
Yeah, I didn't think so either, so it'd be interesting to know. What might be going down there at the bottom of the field. So David Poole now gets bumped down to number 3 as Eiran Parsons driving the Lister Storm. Gets a good run in and gets up into second. Alex White still sitting in first. John Sportelli now gets moved down to 4th and Brad Maris down to 5th. So everybody now, because of Parsons' run, gets moved down from second on down. Gets bumped down a spot. So about 4 minutes left of qualifying. If you're going to do it, you need to do it now.
Now, there is nobody that I can see up on our penalty board that is in a no-qual situation.
Right. So it's interesting to know. I'd love to know what Gub Douglas is doing out there, not qualifying.
But we do have a bunch of weight. White's carrying 66 pounds, Parsons 88, Schleif 22, Greatrix. Oh no, Matt Taylor's carrying 22, Rich Roman's carrying 44, and Marty Eiran's carrying 88 as well. So some guys are hauling the baggage around there tonight.
They are. That they are. And, I got to tell you, for some of these fast guys, extra weight just doesn't seem to slow them down at all.
No, you know what? You know what we need here? You finish last, you lose 5 pounds. You finish first, you get all your extra baggage. But the guys at the back, let's pull some weight off the guys at the back and move them up. Move those guys up closer to the fast guys.
There you go. Remove car weight.
They'd be taking hundreds of pounds out of my car.
Oh, and the rain is coming, Jack. Here in the closing moments of qualifying.
Yeah, it's gone damp, so if they haven't got a time in now, they're definitely not going to do any better, and then that's about it for qualifying.
Yeah, pretty much. 2.5 minutes left, and the track damp, rain is coming. The times are not going to improve at this point. You had your chance. If you didn't get it in, you blew it.
Okay, you know what? If I can, I think I might just... I'm gonna throw one out there. I'm gonna see if I can grab Gup and see if I can bring Gup Douglas up in here and see.
That'd be interesting to see or hear. That's going to be an interesting conversation.
Okay, stand by, folks. We're gonna bring him up.
Yep.
Gup Douglas, NAGP broadcast. What's going on out there tonight?
Nothing much, just getting ready for the race.
Well, we see that, but what isn't qualifying getting ready for the race? What's going on tonight, Gup? What strategy are you on?
Don't get hit in the back at the big crash strategy.
All right, so is that what you and Johnny Mac are doing tonight?
Yeah, we just don't want to get crushed.
Well, my prediction is you're going to pick up 6 spots in the first lap.
Well, we just don't want to. We want to have our cars nice and clean. The owners are upset with damage, so we're trying to bring them home as smooth as possible this week.
Well, we had to find out. We were chatting about it on the broadcast. We appreciate that. We'll drop you back down to your channel. Thanks, Gup Douglas.
Thanks, Gup.
No problem. Have fun, guys.
So, what do you say?
So there you have it. Perhaps not a sandbag, but a strategy nonetheless. And Gup might be onto something with this GT1 racing on a street circuit, not wanting to get crushed from behind, etc., etc. But I gotta tell you that what you're looking at here tonight are a bunch of really good, decent drivers that are probably going to do their best to put in a clean first and second lap, because that's where a lot of the action happens at the start of the race. Some folks just forget that you have 90 minutes to race it out. This is a street circuit, so there's a lot of ground to be made up when your line is correct and your car is set up just right. And then again, we do face the threat of rain.
Well, I don't know. He does pick on an interesting strategy, and this makes it all interesting. I mean, there's so much going on, in the back end of this NAGP league based on strategy. But there's nobody with a no qual that could cause you problems, like one of the fast guys trying to charge through. There's nobody like that tonight. So I don't know if this was the right night to pick that strategy.
Well, I'll tell you what. Time will tell and crap will smell, right? So
yeah, and it is hard. I mean, Ken, you and I race back there all the time. It is hard moving up through the field.
Yeah, that it is. It's even harder as we switch over to qualifying too. It's even harder when you have some of the fast guys that are serving no quals or got disconnected during quali 1 and have to rejoin in quali 2. We face these issues all the time, week after week. How do we get out of their way fast enough, because we know they're coming through? But in this case, going to be hard to move up the field, especially if everybody has a clean first and second lap. I think if everybody just settles in to a nice groove, picks their lines, they don't hurry, they don't rush, they don't charge, and everybody could do that on the first and second lap, Jack, I'm telling you, if you're running in the back, it's going to be really hard to move up.
Yeah, I think so. You know, if I had 4 or 5 guys, fast guys with no quals that are sitting at the back of the pack, I would have chose the same strategy. I probably wouldn't, but that would have been a viable strategy. I just don't see it tonight. But we'll keep our eye on these guys and see how they fare out.
Yep, that we will. So, well, qualifying is over, and Alex White retains the top spot, but here's a bit of a surprise. Eiran Parsons nearly capturing what Alex White did for his pole-sitting run with a 115.584.
Yeah, those top 5 spots, I mean, just look at the competitive nature of those top 5 drivers. And, you know, the next 5 are no slouches either. You know, good run here from 8, Bjorn Heyman, 9, Andrew Werner, and Al Merriman in 10th. So, good run by those 3 guys. This is going to be a barn burner.
That it is. And here's something scary. 1st through 6, 0.3 of a second separation.
Yeah, these guys are so closely matched on pace. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, you're not kidding. So, any predictions tonight, Jack?
Well, you know what? It seems like he has been knocking on the door. I picked him last week. He had some problems. But you know what? We all know Alex White can win races. We know Parsons can win races. And I know David Poole can too. And I'm rooting for David Poole again this week. Not showing favoritism, but boy, he's got some good pace that I watched him in practice. And I think that pace over an hour and a half might just pay off.
Boy, I got to tell you, that's a really good choice, David Poole. But to keep things interesting, as we do here on Thursday nights, I know that Alex White has been on a tear lately and has been laying down the law pretty much in GT2, GT1, just about anything that he races. But Eiran Parsons has not let Alex White get too far out of his sights. So, barring any pit strategy bungles or mishaps, I'm going to put my money tonight on Eiran Parsons, the wonder from down under.
A great choice as well. And you said it. Last week's race, I think the only mistake he made was, or that might have been Monday night, was on Monday night was changing tires. He changed tires and everybody else double snitted. He didn't have a comeback for that. That was just part of his strategy, and that cost him time.
Yeah, that it did. So, I'd say that these are 2 drivers that certainly can put on a good show tonight and have every ounce of capability of winning.
So we got 25 riders tonight. Decent turnout. A little lighter than normal, but as you did your solicitation earlier, hopefully we can get some more of the guys out. Drag some of those guys from GT2 out. They're talented enough; they can come race here.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to agree. 25 is not a bad turnout, but there is room for more folks, guys. So grab your steering wheel, light up your computer, come out here and race with us some GTR2.
So they're out on their warm-ups. What about the pit in, pit out? We got any problems going on there, Ken?
Well, the pit in for this track seems fairly straightforward. Just looking at the track map again, as we bring it up on screen, after turn 15, it's just a straight shot into the pit. So I don't foresee any huge problems. However, that being said, coming out of the pits puts you right on the racing line going into the 1-2-3 complex at center chicane. That is going to be scary if you're not watching that pit exit light, which flashes blue and green when you have cars that are coming down, boring down on you. Things can get a little dicey there.
Well, you got that right, and it won't be the first time we've seen a mayhem on the exit. And yeah, I was just watching John Ludden come out. Yeah, they're going to have to time this pretty well to get out there in a timely fashion, especially on cold tires and going through that first chicane.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. So that's gonna that's gonna make for some puckering moments.
Now the other thing we're going to have to keep our eye on tonight is double stint. Is there going to be opportunity to double stint tires?
Boy, I just don't know. In a 90-minute race where you got 25 drivers that are going to duke it out for 90 minutes, and they will be pushing hard on a street circuit with high curbs, notorious for chewing up your tires. I don't know if it's going to be possible for everybody, especially those mid-engine cars that are known for chewing up the rear tires. End up fishtailing the second half of your race. It's not going to be a lot of fun, and would probably force a third pit, which is something that everybody wants to avoid here.
Well, we are looking at 78 laps. You know, that's 1,100 corners roughly.
That's a lot of tire wear too.
Yeah, and I'm tired already. I'm not even driving.
Well, I'll tell you this much. This track with these high horsepower cars does not give you a lot of time to rest. You got one long straight whereby down the back with a small kink in it whereby you can get a little bit of a reprieve there and just kind of gather your thoughts for maybe about 3 or 4 seconds before you have to start reacting to the track turns. But this isn't a track for the weary, and this is not a track for the distracted. These guys, these drivers, are going to have to be 100% focused on their driving on the track, their surroundings, as well as what their vehicle is doing. Fuel, suspension, aero damage, you name it. They're going to have to just be on top of it all tonight.
Aero damage is a given around here. These guys are going to be bouncing around like ping pong balls out there. You know, while we got a little bit of time left, you know, I do want to throw out some kudos there. Monday night, we had, you know, I use the word quite a lot. We had a barn burner going on. You know, we had Kreshnik Halili, Johnny Lugnuts, and Greg Myers locked in a heated battle, which, man, you know, you don't see it when you're racing, but I watched the broadcast, Ken, and man, oh man, that was an epic battle that they had going on. So I hope we get more of that tonight.
Yeah, you're not kidding, Jack. Boy, I tell you, I watched the rebroadcast. I literally found myself biting my nails.
Yeah, Kreshnik, you know, drove the wheels off that car. Like I said in my post, I don't know what he's drinking, but I want him to ship me over a case of it.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Oh, we have a Lister Storm stuck out on the field there. Hopefully that's not a lockup. No, it looks like it may have been Sergio Calderon just getting ready to practice his pit entrance. So, warm-up is finished. We should be switching over to the race in about 1 minute or so. Going to be an interesting race. We hope that you that are joining us via the broadcast go and get yourself some chips, popcorn, soda, beer, whatever it is that you fancy, and get ready for a good race tonight.
And a little welcome out there to David Canavan. Thanks for joining us tonight, David. Hope you're healing up well. I don't feel too sorry for you there, buddy. You got 2 months holidays. Boy, what I'd give. What a way to get a holiday.
I'm telling you, boy. 2 months, eh? 8 weeks? Has it been that long?
8 weeks? You think he'd have brain surgery or something. All right, run him down there, Kenny.
Okay, let's get this going. Starting in pole, Alex White Lightning. Starting second, Eiran Parsons. David Poole will start third. John Sportelli in fourth. And Brad Maris will start in fifth.
John Ludden in 6th, Ryan Schleif in 7th, Bjorn Heyman in 8th, Andrew Werner in 9th, and Al, the boss, Merriman in 10th.
Ian Jolicoeur will start 11th. John Wathen in 12th. Way to go, John. Mike Graytrix getting within the top 15. Will start 13th. Matt Taylor in 14th. Rich Roman will start 15th.
Mike Trussler in 16th, Thomas Schubeck in 17th, Sam Rolfe in 18th, Jonathan Cuppett in 19th, and Marty Eiran in 20th.
Sergio Calderon will start in 21st, Jared Keane 22nd, Paul Hall 23rd, John McIntyre 24th, and Gup Douglas with the strategy in 25th, and that rounds out your order.
Well, as you're going to cover the action at the front, I'm going back to see how the Gupper and Johnny McIntyre make out with their super strategy tonight.
Yep, good call. We are on board with Alex White. So we're on board with the leader for the start of the race. There's about 22 seconds before the green flag drops. So we are going to go into chase cam and get out front ahead of the drivers to get a feel for what's going on as Alex White starts dipping in and out of the pits, making last second adjustments with about 4 seconds left to go, and we are getting ready to go.
Dry track 95, 82 ambient.
And the lights are starting to turn, and there they are off. Alex White with the whole shot. Aaron Parsons right behind, but not too far behind them. David Poole's going to tuck in behind Eiran and says, hey, not so fast.
Looks like they all got through that first bit of chicane really clean.
Yep, Bjorn Heyman up to 6th. Really nice. John Ludden in 7th. So we're just checking out what everybody's doing as we go back through the field right now. And it looks really clean there, Jack.
Yeah, the only one who had some problem is Jared Keane, and the McLaren looks like he was on cold tires, put her in the wall. But he's going again. Yep, they've spaced themselves out really nicely.
Yep, very nice. So, good stuff going on early. We have a long 25-car freight train going on here. On board with Mike Graytrix as already early in the going, Matt Taylor running 14th, trying to put the moves on Mikey. 2 Salines going at it, nose to bumper.
Yep, they're getting a little spaced out there. You know, we've got, out front, Alex White, Parsons, and Poole. Parsons and Poole, nose to tail.
Boy, yeah, just jumped on David Poole's bumper cam there, and not even the hood cam. We are down low, taking a look at Parsons up ahead, driving the Lister Storm.
Well, right behind them, you've got Sportelli and Maris in behind them with John Ludden. So they're all, they're going to do their best not to let these guys get too far out in front, and it doesn't look like they are at this moment.
Hey, Jack, I've got a little trivia for you here. In the GT2 car pack, we have a Sunred 21 GT3 car. Can you tell me who the manufacturer of that car is?
I can't. I know it's a Spanish car, though.
Is it? Well, I thought that Hyundai was the manufacturer of that car.
I'm pretty sure it's a Spanish car. It might not be a Spanish car. It may be just owned by a Spanish team. I'm sure one of our viewers would know, but hey, I don't have a chat board up, so... Ian Jolicoeur just missing the barrier there. He's in P12.
Paul Hall is DNF'd. John McIntyre DNF'd. Paul Hall out due to suspension.
Well, so much for Johnny Mac and Gup's strategy.
Yeah, we got Dan Wilkerson in the chat room giving us some updates there.
Attaboy, Dan. Thanks for joining us tonight.
And so Scotty confirms that the Sunred is a Spanish team. Yes. But I believe that the manufacturer of the car is Hyundai.
Very interesting.
So, jumping out front, Alex White comes around the last corner, 16, to take the start-finish line still in first, followed not too far behind by Eiran Parsons and David Poole, tucked into the draft of Eiran Parsons as they come through the center chicane. And Poole just about pulling up alongside of Parsons, trying to get that big Ford GT under control. John Sportelli running fourth, Brad Merris in fifth, John Ludden in sixth, Bjorn Heyman in seventh. So Bjorn having a really good race tonight, being hounded by Ryan Schleif driving the Chevrolet Corvette C6R.
Yeah, and a little farther back here we've got 9, 10, 11, 12. We got Joliker, Andrew Werner, Watson, and the boss Al Merriman, and they're all bunching up down there.
Yeah, you're not kidding. That they are. I'm looking back from Al Merriman's car right now, and boy, I tell you, as he slows down for these corners, these guys just kind of bunch up like a 10-car train here in the city when it's coming into a station.
Yeah, and just a little farther back from that, Ken, we got Mikey Ratrix in 13, Matt Taylor in 14th, and Rich Roman. And these three are lockstep together. Looks like Matt Taylor is looking for a way around Mikey, but Mikey's driving his line and saying, "You want by me? You find a way around me. I'm going to drive my line." And good for you, Mike.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. Boy, I tell you, these street circuits are tough when it comes to passing. You've got to be ready to go at a moment's notice, tuck up behind the guy in front of you, and hope either for a mistake or a good enough pull down one of these semi-long straights to get you alongside. Oh!
Whoa, Matt Taylor just walls it.
Yep. He puts it in the wall, and traveling backwards right now, he's going to have to lock it down and hold up for the field to pass. He drops like a stone in a pond. Currently 22nd.
He's in last place. That's last place right now. No, Jared Keene is in 23rd, so Jared is maybe catching up.
Oh boy, what a turn of events, man. And you stated it, Jack. These walls were going to be something else on these cars.
Well, I'm glad to see it. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to see an accident like Matt had, this bad accident. But on an open course, you make a mistake like that, you slide out into the grass, and you're sort of pooched. On a track like this, you can run into the wall and just keep going. You don't even barely lose any time. And I don't know. It's I don't know. My opinion. I'm crazy about them.
Well, I think maybe the broadcaster's curse may have had a little to do with that there, because we were talking about that little freight train that was going on back there. But now we're back up front with the freight train of Alex White, Eiran Parsons, David Poole, John Sportelli, Brad Merris, John Ludden. All of these guys not running too far apart. As a matter of fact, first through six right now. Let's take a look at the scoring board. First through six is only a 7-second gap. I know it sounds like a lot, but you know what? On a street course, one mistake can cost you about 15 seconds.
We're seeing a similar picture again here, where Alex White's jumped out to the lead, but Eiran Parsons is not letting him get away. I mean, he just can't afford. You cannot afford to let that Alex White, get too big a gap, because he just goes on autopilot and will take it home. But Parsons in the Lister just giving the Gumpert everything it's worth. Oh, and he just about clips the wall.
Yeah, you certainly don't want to give Alex White the opportunity to get comfortable in a race, because he can't check out on you. Keep the pressure on him. Hope that he, takes notice of you back there and starts to pay more attention to the guy in the rearview mirror. But I'm on board right now with Bjorn Heyman, and boy, I got to tell you, Al Merriman, currently running in 9th and Bjorn in 8th. Al Merriman all over the rear bumper of Bjorn Heyman. An epic battle forming right here as they start the drag race down the back straight, going into the kink.
Yeah. Yeah, I just watched that. What move was that on Bjorn's part? He swung way wide on this, right on the straight, and then all the way back. Was he saying to Al, "If you want it, come in and take it"? I don't know what the heck that move was.
I don't know
it was
either.
Interesting, anyway.
I just don't know. But I can tell you, boy, Al's giving it all he can right now. But look, he's got the threat of 2 Aston Martins right behind him. Ian Jolicoeur in 10th, John Wathen in 11th, and they are actually starting to make some inroads right now to the 2 that are battling in front of them.
Yeah, and they've just swapped positions in the last lap or so. John was out in front of Ian, but I guess he's let his teammate through. You know, Ian, the madman, he sure knows how to move ahead.
Yeah.
But, you know, I gotta give it to Al. Al is, so far this season, is looking really racy.
Yep, I believe that the boss man decided that this season he was going to give it all he can, have a little bit more fun. I mean, let's face it, Jack. You know that when you are on and you're on a bit of a tear for yourself, according to your driving ability, and you have a few guys to race with, it is tons of fun.
Yeah, you know, and that's
Al
what it's all
takes
about.
the inside wall at the kink, and it just ricochets him to the outside. He's still going, but man, he has got some serious aero damage right now on both sides of the car. Looks like a Nutter Butter cookie.
And that allowed Jolicoeur to close that gap up pretty close.
Yep, it certainly did, but Al's just gonna have to keep trucking it. Boy, that might have been a lapse in concentration on his part. But moving a little further back right now, Mike Graytrick still holding down the 13th spot, but now he's got a new threat. Rich Roman actually giving Mike Graytrick's the light, saying, "Hey, you know that I got pace on you. Let me by." But Mikey's just not giving him the opportunity to get by him. So,
well, you know, he probably has got his mirrors turned off and saying, "I'm driving my race and I'm driving my line, and you find a way by me."
That's it. It's like the cat getting stared down by the big bad bulldog. No eye contact. No eye contact. No eye contact. So
you got that right.
Yeah.
And you know, Rich looks like he might be getting a little sloppy and a little impatient. Hang in there, Rich. I mean, you got a long way to go. You know, what did I say? We got 1,100 corners.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of corners, and at some point, if you lose focus, one of them are going to catch you out there. We're currently running lap 8 of 78. So, boys, there's 70 laps left to go. Make them count. Make them count. This is supposed to be a lot of fun, and I know that at times it can get frustrating. So, Rich probably has 2 things on his mind. 1, getting around Mike Graytrick for that 13th position. 2, the leaders are getting too far. I may not have enough time to catch them. Let me by. Let me by.
Yeah, a little farther back, Sam Rolfe just put a picture-perfect pass on Jonathan Coppett, and Jonathan's now coming under the clutches of Marty Eiran back there in P20, so Jonathan looks like he's struggling a little bit with that Corvette.
Yep, just a little bit, and boy, I gotta tell you, you know, Marty Eiran going, he cut that corner there, but looks like
big cut.
Yeah, huge cut. It looks like the weight may be getting the best of that Saleen SR7. Not sure if he optimized the setup for the additional weight, but in all fairness, he is carrying quite a bit of weight tonight.
Well, I jumped over to the timing board myself. I'm going to take a look and see if they actually, although his timing lap is still going, so they're not counting it as a cut, but I'm pretty sure the CC committee will.
Yep, if they get a hold of that, it's probably unlikely that they will, because I know that they review the first lap and sporadically other laps. So, but on board with your leader, Alex White. Looks like Roman still holding on to that less than 1 second gap, and now David Poole getting himself up into this foray, not letting these 2 guys get too far ahead of him. And I think David Poole understands he's got a very capable car under him, and is going to try and maximize it to the best of his ability to maybe pull out a win here. Let's see what happens.
Well, I have seen, in a couple of laps there that Eiran is getting a little loose, but, they got to push. They really got to push, not to lose contact with Alex White.
Yeah, and to think, again, Alex White carrying 40 kilos of penalty ballast because he is subbing tonight for David Rowley.
Well, time will tell, who's burning up their tires, who's conserving the tires, and who's going to make late stint gains. They are just cracking the 100-degree temperature mark on the track.
Yeah, it's getting hot out there, so tire temps are going to get a little crucial because too hot and these things become like grease on hot tarmac. So we're going to go a little bit further back right now. Bjorn Heyman having an excellent run tonight, guys. Running 8th, still being hounded by the boss. And here's an interesting little bit of information. Ian Jolicoeur still has not found his way around Al Merriman.
No, Al's got some good pace.
But Andrew Werner, who was running in 12th, has picked up the spot from John Wathen and is now running 11th. John Wathen gets bumped back into 12th. Oh, as he finds the wall, Mike Greatrix finds the wall, and this is now going to give Ian Jolicoeur the opportunity to get by them both and take over that 12th spot.
Well, we just had John Wathen has put it into the kitty litter. He's now sitting in 20th. So he crunched the wall, and now poor old John is down in 21st spot.
Mike Trussler currently running in the last points paying position in 16th. Sam Rolfe in 17th. Jonathan Cuppett in 18th. Marty Uren back in 19th. And Gup Douglas in 20th. John Wathen 21st after having found the kitty litter and the wall. Jared Keene in 22nd. And Matt Taylor, a DNF.
Oh, I didn't catch that. I didn't catch it. Sorry.
So we're back up front with the top three right now. Less than a second separating these three positions. Looks like Alex White is being just a little bit conservative around those corners, especially the tight right-handers. I'm wondering, could it be that he's trying to conserve some tires?
Well, of the three drivers there, we know White is smooth, but Parsons is right up behind him now. But when I'm watching these guys on the corners, that David Poole looks pretty smooth out there, and he might be thinking, I'll just let these catbirds burn up their tires. I'm just going to drive my line, keep it smooth, keep in contact, and I'm just waiting for my opportunity.
Well, Alex White locking up the right rear as he comes into turn 16. So that can help in these high temperatures right now.
Well, they're only running lap 13 right now, and they got 12 more laps until they get to a pit window. And now, almost 3 wide, they're all having a look here.
Yep, they have bunched up. Not sure what their thinking is right now. Is it just let's freight train around and get away from everybody else? Or is somebody thinking
I don't
pass here?
No, that's what they're thinking. They're thinking, I'm going to the front.
It's a bit of a risky move right now, considering the pace that these guys are going at, and they have some lap traffic coming up ahead of them in a couple of corners there, Jack. So that lap traffic is certainly going to play a crucial role.
Well, it sure is, but these guys are all going at it. I love this stuff.
Currently on board with number 3, David Poole. These guys are running a tight race up front. And Jared Keene is right up ahead of them, going into the center chicane complex. So,
well, there's a hell of a battle, 1, 2, 3, but there's also a heck of a battle back here, 4, 5, 6. We've got Sportelli. We've got Brad Maris and John Ludden.
Yeah, that we do, and they're looking as the front runner, three right now, racing for that top position. So, just jumped on board with John Ludden, taking a peek off of his bumper cam as he gets on the throttle down the back straight.
The guys who actually have got it in pretty good order here is number 7, Ryan Schleif, and Bjorn Heyman. They got a 10-second gap between them, and almost a 10-second gap up ahead of Ryan Schleif to John Ludden. So they're running their own race. The only guys behind him is coming up on Bjorn is Al Merriman and Ian Joliker. But right now, Ryan Schleif running all by himself.
All by himself. Oh boy, as Al Merriman finds the outside wall of that kink again. He totally redesigned that Pano's GT1 car.
Well, as you mentioned, we saw in Monday when we get into a street course, the aero isn't as critical as it is on some of these big, fast power courses that we run.
Yep, I have to agree there, Jack. Thomas Schubeck running 14th, looking pretty neat. Hounding Mike Graytrix, still running in 13th spot. So Mikey Graytrix just consistent tonight, all over the board, but having a great run nonetheless. But Thomas Schubeck not letting Mike Graytrix get too far away. Not having enough coming down that straight to put a move on Mike, but he's right there. Moving a little further back, Sergio Calderon running in 15th. Mike Trussler driving the blue Ferrari F40 right behind him. And not too far behind them, Sam Rolfe.
Hey, right up in front, I'm just watching your race leader. And Aaron Parsons had to check up because he almost put it into the back of Alex White. So they're still going at it up there.
Yep, just jumped on board. We are on Aaron Parsons' bumper cam right now as he pulls it right up to the bumper of Alex White.
I think this is only a matter of time here. And if those two come together at all, Pole is going to pounce like a cat. Like a polecat.
Yeah, like a polecat. Nah, yeah, that he will. Into the kink they go. So White and Parsons pulling a little bit of a gap on David Poole, but David Poole not willing to let them get too far away. But first two certainly pushing it really hard tonight.
Absolutely great action up the front. And there's also some good action at the back, or for a little farther back, just to bring you up to date. Al Merriman and Bjorn Heyman. They're sort of locked in a pretty good battle. They're pretty close together. But you know what? They put a gap between themselves and Ian Joliker. So Al's pulled about a 3-second gap. So Ian's fallen a little off the pace here. And he's coming under pressure from Andrew Werner.
Interestingly enough, Mr. 20-minute practice, who can typically just jump on a track and be competitive right out of the box. But here tonight, the street circuit seems to be showing the fact that she holds no favorites.
Now, still, he's running in 10th position, so let's keep it all in perspective here.
Yep, he's still in the top 10.
So some good battles going on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9. Joliker, Warner, and Roman are battling it out. Schubeck and Graytrix and Sergio Calderon are battling it out too.
Oh, Graytrix finds the wall and he spins it. Drops him down to 15th, and he's gonna... Boy, he might lose another spot here to...
Yeah, he tried to get that back off Matt Taylor.
Yep. Oh, and
Matt
Trussler.
gave him a little punt. Whoa!
Trussler getting into the side of Mike Greatrix, puts him off the track.
Yeah, no waiting there, eh?
Well, Gup
Made
did.
note of that.
Gives Gup Douglas the opportunity now to jump up to 18th spot, and that'll drop Mike Greatrix unfortunately down to 19.
Well, not all that bad because from P13 to P19, there's only a 10-second gap. So, boy, they're still all close early on in the race.
Yeah, still plenty of race left to go. Currently on board with P18, Gup Douglas.
Hey, get up front, there. We had a big change up front. Alex White has dropped into P3, so Alex has had some sort of a mishap. Eiran Parsons has gone on through.
Oh, sorry that we missed that, folks. Yep, it looks like Alex may have found the wall as the right side of his car seems to be sporting a new design.
Well, left a little paint there, but he is now a 2.5-second disadvantage to Parsons, and I thought it was only a matter of time until Parsons got by him, but Parsons is now a man on a tear. He's got a 1.5-second gap on Mr. Poole.
Well, it is quite possible that this was the opportunity that Parsons was looking to start placing a gap between him and the rest of the field. Parsons, when he's got pace, doesn't always let it show. At times he'll sit back and wait for the other person to give him the opportunity, or when the opportunity presents himself, he will pounce, like you said, as a cat. In this case, now he's out front with nobody in front of him, clean air, and he can probably start gapping. Especially if he knew he had the pace.
Well, yeah, he's got pace there, but you know what? Poole looks just so smooth. I mean, he locked up a little bit there, but Poole just looks pretty smooth. He's driving his lines real well. White and Parsons seem to be catching all sorts of curbs. Maybe they're set up to take it, but as you mentioned earlier, maybe that's unsettling the cars just a little bit.
Yeah, quite possibly. And these curbs, they're not small. They are quite tall. You can actually get caught out on one and end up with no traction whatsoever, spinning your tires trying to get off of the curb.
Well, sorry we missed that action, but a little farther back we got 4 and 5, and Brad Maris is coming under pressure from John Ludden, and we know John has shown some great pace this season so far, and been a pleasure to watch him move up and challenge for the lead in all these races.
Boy, John Sportelli right behind them, so they're just freight training around right now, 4, 5, and 6. Going to move a little further back right now. Ryan Schleif is just about out there running by himself. Bjorn Heyman, not too close, but Bjorn under immense pressure right now from Andrew Werner. Andrew Werner found his way around Ian Jolicoeur and Rich Roman to take that 9th spot. Oh, and there was a coming together of Rich Roman and Ian Jolicoeur. Ian getting away and getting the car back under control, but Rich Roman getting the worst of that one as Thomas Schubeck gets by now for the 11th spot. Even Rich Roman gets dropped back to 12th.
Well, I'm just chasing around with your race leader, Eiran Parsons, and David Poole, and it does appear that David Poole has got some big legs in that Ford GT, and looking for an opportunity to stretch him out and grab hold of the lead.
Well, Poole certainly pulling up on Eiran Parsons, so Eiran's no slouch, though. It's not easy to get around him. He's one that can drive the line very, very well and steal the speed out of your car if you're trailing him by not giving you the room to take the racing line away from him.
Big Al has dropped down to P13.
Yep, we noticed that maybe about 30 seconds ago or so. Was up front with the top three, but right now on board with Brad Maris, who seems to be making a little bit of inroads on the top three right now. Trying to close the gap. John Ludden right behind him, and John Sportelli still hanging back in 6th spot.
Well, just a little bit of an update here. I'm a little farther back in the field. The statistician here in the race, Gup Douglas, is in P17, and he is currently reeling in Sam Rolfe for P16. So Gup, who started at the back of the field on purpose, looks like he may be playing his strategy just as he wanted it.
Yep, driving the Ferrari 550 Maranello. That's a bit of an old car too, but still very competitive around these parts. So Gup Douglas right now, one spot out of the points. Will he make it in? We have pit stops coming up, folks, so a lot still to be determined. The outcome is not guaranteed.
Yeah, the next couple of laps should be getting into their pit windows now. They're running on lap 23. 25, 26 should be where they're coming in.
On board with Mike Graytrix running 19th. I was looking at his lap times to see if he had made a pit stop to fix some aero damage. I thought that I had saw some more aero damage on his car than what I'm seeing right now, but apparently not. He's not come in to fix anything yet. Not sure that he will, but he's not fixed it yet.
Well, just checking on the timing board here, we're pretty much steady with Aaron Parsons out in front running 117.5s, 117.3s right now. And in lockstep is, David Poole, running the very, very low 117s. And yes, there's one lap there for Alex White at 120s. So he did have a bit of an incident. Probably self-inflicted out in front. I'm sure it wasn't a tap or anything like that.
No, don't think that it might have been. These guys are very, very courteous to one another, and they know how to race with one another, so we typically don't see any bumping and grinding. So it'd be interesting to know what had happened to Alex White.
Well, this 1-2 combination here is very reminiscent of the way we saw Kreshnik running on Monday night. So Poole and Parsons putting on a show.
Boy, that battle Monday night was epic. That is one for the history books.
So the Lister doing real well here on the street courses here in Adelaide, up against the big power Ford GT1.
And another interesting fact about the Lister Storm is that it's only got a 5-speed gearbox. All of our other cars are sporting 6 gears. So typically with 6 gears, you can play around with the gearing, shorten it, and gear it to get a lot of torque coming out of those corners. Whereas with the Lister, it's got to kind of stay spaced out pretty well.
Well, just following these top 3 drivers here, and Alex White, I think he might be suffering from some tire degradation right now because he just put a big slide on and a little bit of a gap opening up there. But that David Poole is not letting Eiran run away with us at all.
Nope, not at all.
But at pit rotation, is the Lister going to have a fuel advantage? I think so.
Quite possibly. So Ryan Schleif up in 7th driving that big Corvette. Andrew Werner now moves up to 8th. Ian Jolicoeur to 9th. Bjorn Heyman drops down to 10th. So not exactly sure what happened there, but there was some changing of positions in the midfield. Rich Rome in 11th.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
No, absolutely, because I can see Big Al's drop down to 13th.
Yeah, Thomas Schubeck in 12th, Al the Boss in 13th, and Marty Uren in 14th, now putting some pressure on the Boss Man. So Marty Uren carrying around 88 pounds of penalty ballast, and it's almost like carrying a whole extra person in your car with you.
Well, it must be a really, really tiny person.
Well, that's why I said almost 88 pounds. Typical driver weight around here is about 120, 130. That's virtual, of course. I mean, in reality, that goes up about 60 pounds.
I would say I have yet to see a driver at about 120 pounds. He'd have to be about 12 years old. Well, we've only had 3 retirements tonight, which is good. Matt Taylor, John McIntyre, and Paul Hall. Don't get me wrong, it's not good to see the retirements, but everything seems stable tonight. The drivers have kept it on track, and the cars are still running.
Yes, sirree. So Mikey Greatrix just in 19th position, now coming under pressure from the leaders. As Eiran Parsons, as Mike Greatrix goes through the 1-2-3 chicane complex, he's got Eiran Parsons directly behind him. So Mike Greatrix sort of running out there by himself right now. So it shouldn't be too big a deal, too big an issue for him to just let the drivers on by at the opportune time. But he doesn't want to give up too much time on P18, which is not too far ahead.
Well, interesting you say. As they're coming up on Mikey Greatrix, David Poole gave up a second on the last lap there, which give a little bit of breathing space to Eiran Parsons, because he was all over his bumper for a number of laps there.
Yep, that he was. Oh, and they come close to touching in that turn, but wow, Mikey. Yep, Mikey gives him the room, and Eiran Parsons is by.
Yeah, I know Mikey doesn't want to give up any speed, but Mike, these guys are all close together, so get the heck out of the way.
Get the heck out the way. So David Poole flashing the lights at Mike Greatrix. Don't think Mike's going to let him through. Oh, Mike just takes it all kinds of wide. Figures, let me get the heck out the way. I heard you, Jack. There you go.
He did. He drove right into the chicane.
Yep, I don't think the CC committee is going to penalize him for that, just for getting out the way. So,
hey, Mikey, we love you. And just as I'm trying to drag Mikey Greatrix up to the Mosport track this weekend for the vintage car races. And I know Mikey's a motorbike enthusiast, so hopefully he'll bring one of his older rides and we'll be able to get into the vintage parade on track this weekend.
Very, very nice. Boy, Jack, you got to take pictures and throw some up there.
That I will do. I'm going to try and get a live video. I'm going to get a video done of my, well, it won't be my first lap around the track, but of my lap around the track.
Well, you get that video and we will throw it up on the Thursday night broadcasts.
Whoa, Poole is way wide there. It just about lost it. I got to think these guys are coming close to their window now. That's 29 laps in. So they're going to 2-stop. They're going to go. Are they going to go 1-stop? Can they 1-stop this thing?
That would be hard to determine, as Alex White having another off right now. He puts it into the runoff area, and he is now just dropping like the stone in the pond, doing his impersonation of The Spy Who Shagged Me.
Yeah, you know what? I can just hear the frustration in that car right now. I'm surprised there's a steering wheel left.
Yeah, wow. Okay, so Alex White back to 5th right now, trying to get back on. I guess he is just trying to make it to his pit window. He is driving an unfamiliar car, although when you're Alex White, nothing is too unfamiliar around here, but it looks like that Gumpert is giving him the gump.
Yeah, and he looks like he's struggling there, and right behind, off the wall again. Along with Sportelli, drove right into the wall following him, said, well, if you can go there, I can too. But Alex has got all sorts of handling issues out there. That is a handful out there for Alex right now. So he is going to have to, if he's within a window, get in and get that fixed, because timing is not going to be kind to him. Dropped to 2nd. Oh boy, yeah.
Ooh.
Not good.
As John Sportelli gets into his tailpipes. Yeah, not a lot of fun to be driving a car that's not handling well around this track. And here's the thing, Jack, you know what? As the fuel gets expended, that car becomes lighter, and that once great setup, while the car was heavy, does not work the same.
Yeah, good point. You know, I found that personally myself in the GT2 class as well. You know, sometimes when we drop the fuel and get ready for quality, the car just isn't the same. So, geez, I might have to talk to my friend Scotty and see if he's got some super secret Scotty setup tips.
Yep, I think that having a good qualifying setup with low fuel is essential to putting in a good qualifying run, as Alex White is going to take it wide and let John Sportelli take over that 4th spot. Oh, I'm sorry, 5th spot.
Wow, and you know, I just got a good glimpse of Sportelli's car. It's all beat to pieces too, so definitely been slapping her off the walls, both sides, so he's, you know, not playing favorites to one side or the other.
Well, here's an interesting thing. Brad Maris now moves up into the 3rd spot, putting one of the listers down a lap, but he's still a ways from David Poole. And now, as Eiran Parsons has started to gap David Poole, I'd say, David Poole slams it into the kink wall. I'd say there's about maybe a 2 to 3 second gap right there. We're going to go back to the timing board and check this.
Wow, and there was a little farther back, we had Sam Rolfe, Marty Eiran, Bjorn Heyman in tight together, and Bjorn's put it off the track. Schubeck has got through into the 14 spot, so we got action in the pits.
Well, it looks like Schubes is going to be the first one into the pits tonight, as Bjorn Heyman, now staying out, takes over number 14. Tucking in behind your leader, Eiran Parsons. So Bjorn figuring, hey, you know what? The best way around the track, follow the leader.
So Schubes is the first one to pull the trigger tonight.
Yep, that he is. That'll move everybody up a spot right now. Mike Graychick's running in 17th, one out of the points paying position. So Schubes in the pits right now. Looks like he went up on the jacks. I don't think we're going to see double stinting tonight,
yeah.
Jack.
Nope, you are absolutely correct. I was watching for that myself, Ken. So Parsons pulling out a 6-second lead over David Poole. Ludden and Merriman are still got the battle, or Ludden and Maris still got a battle going on, and Ludden giving them a whole front end of McLaren there.
Tom Schubeck is away, and he's still got a fairly decent lead over 20th place Jonathan Cuppett. John Wathen, 21st. That will round out your running order, but Eiran Parsons putting on a bit of a clinic here tonight at Adelaide. Running in P1. John Ludden now up to P2. David Poole in the pits. His car hasn't gone up on the jacks yet. Let's see what's going to happen.
I'm just a little farther back here. I was just back here with the boss, Al Merriman, and Sam Rolfe, 11 and 12. Al's car is beat to crap. There's not a straight bit left on that car. I don't know how he's keeping it going. It sure looks like Sam's going to try and put a move on him, but Al's going to have some serious work to be done on his car when he gets that into the pits.
Yeah, no doubt. So it looks like David Poole is up on jacks, getting full service here. He's currently dropped down to 7th, but you know what? As the pit rotation,
Alex White is out. Alex White is out. He has pulled the plug.
Oh, Alex, we are so sorry.
I think I just caught it briefly. I think he pulled the plug.
Yep. So
I didn't see him in the wall. I didn't see him in an accident. I think he just pulled the plug.
Yep. Mike Graytrick's in the pits right now, running in 19th, and he's off. Tom Schubeck out there on fresh rubber, and if there was any aero damage, looks like he got it fixed. Yeah, Alex White missing the whole front of his car.
Well, this is scheduled for 78. If Shubes has come in, some of these guys have come in lap 34. That's only 68. Do they? I'm taking it that it's got to be in their fuel window. If not, they won't be happy doing another stop. Sportelli in, Joliker in.
Well, I have seen some of these folks do a short second stint and get to the point where they can do the long last stint if a third stop is indeed required.
Parsons in the pits. And the pit is loading up. Roman, Merriman, Joliker, Rolfe, Sportelli, Parsons.
Yep, they are all in. So John Ludden.
John Ludden.
Yep, he inherits the lead right now. He has not pitted yet. Oh, let me just double check that before I make that announcement.
No, he has not pitted. He has not pitted.
Wow, Alex White out with a suspension. John Wathen a DNF. Jared Keane a suspension. Matt Taylor suspension. Paul Hall suspension. These walls can be a little bit brutal.
Yep. Now, where is my Gupper? Gupper is up to 8th position. He hasn't pitted yet. Every season we get somebody throwing out some different strategies, and it usually catches the rest of us off guard until other people catch on to them. So be interesting to see if this no qualifying catches on. Busy pit lane now. Schleif, Eiran, Werner, Douglas, Ludden in, Calderon in. Lap 35.
Well, lap 35 will give them 70 laps. I think that if they went down to a dry tank, Jack, they're going to have to make another stop yet. Ryan Schleif is off. John Sportelli running in 6th right now. Bjorn Heyman in 5th. Brad Maris is still running in 4th. David Poole now in 3rd. Aaron Parsons 2nd. And John Ludden is now in the pits. So this will give Parsons the opportunity to catch up. We got to see where Parsons is right now. Yep, he is coming around that last turn. John Ludden in the pits will fall down to 2nd. And down to 3rd as David Poole now comes by. And Brad Maris. So looking at Brad Maris. Brad Maris actually pitted 3 laps ago, so he's inherited third. And I have to think he's going to have to come in for another stop.
That will be interesting. That is going to make it interesting. Of course, Brad Mayer sitting in third is not a real surprise.
No, not at all. I am just very curious what the strategy might be with that Panos GT1 car. He did come in a little sooner than some of the other cars. And so, does he lay back and just kind of put it in cruise control and hope to stay in third and maybe make a challenge, make a run for the front late in the race? We'll have to see.
Well, Al Merriman has picked up, he is in 10th spot now, so he has done well out of that pit rotation. Now, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar. Is the Panos pretty thrifty on fuel?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and you know what? Rich Roman is the person to ask.
Well, I would, but he's right now he's in a battle with Mike Trussler for P13, so we won't bother him too much.
Yeah, we won't bother him, but yeah, Al Merriman running in 10th. Not bad. Not a bad run whatsoever.
No, Al's been very, very strong and steady, but again, a great battle going on up front, with Parsons and Poole, and Poole now going through some lap traffic, which is looks like Thomas Schubeck. He just put Thomas Schubeck down a lap, and these guys are putting on a good show again tonight. So Poole not letting them get too far out. He's only just under 2 seconds off the lead.
Yep, and I'm actually back on board with number 19, P19, Jonathan Cuppett. He did seem to have a fairly decent run going with Mike Graytrix, not letting him get too far, but now it looks like Mike Graytrix may be just starting to gap Jonathan Cuppett a little bit as they go back down the back straight, and Cuppett cooking it into that corner.
Well, interesting. I just pulled up Jonathan's timings. He pitted on lap 21.
Oh wow, that's early. That is early.
No, I'm sorry. I got the lap incorrect. I will try and get that straightened out for you.
Okay. So we're on board with your leader, Eiran Parsons, as he goes through the kink. Not too far behind, David Poole running a close second. And Brad Maris, our resident driving instructor here, running a close third as well.
Yeah, Cuppett pitted on 27, lap 27. Sorry about that, folks. So he did pit earlier than everybody else.
Yeah, that he did. Not quite as early as we thought, but early nonetheless. So I see a second stop. It's kind of hard for these GT1 cars on street circuits where they're just burning up fuel to make it on just one stop. It's going to be interesting to see what the pit strategies are for the remainder of the race, if there are any at all. Which I would assume there has to be. So Ryan Schleif in 6th, Ian Jolicoeur in 7th, Andrew Werner 8th, Al Merriman in 9th, Sam Rolfe in 10th driving a Lamborghini, Rich Roman, Mike Trussler, Thomas Schubeck, Marty Eiran, Gup Douglas in 15th from the back spot, Bjorn Heyman in 16th after the pit rotations, Mikey Graytrix in 17th, one out of the points, Jonathan Cuppett in 18th, and Sergio Calderon in 19th. We got 19 running cars, Jack.
Yeah, I got to just give kudos out there to Sam Rolfe. He's having a heck of a race. Got to hand it to Sam. I'm not sure. Did Sam run in the first feature race? I'm not sure if he did or not, but having a great race out there. Keep it up, Sam. You're looking good for a top 10 finish.
Yeah, he certainly is. So, as these folks, the leaders, come by the last turn, a bunch of blue flags are waving there saying, give way to the leaders.
Yeah, other than Parsons and Poole, the next closest battle on the track is Ian Jolker and Andrew Werner. They're within a second of each other, so I'll look for them and keep my eye on those and see how they close up.
Yep, just jumped on board with Andrew Werner. And this is a pretty good battle that's shaping up there between he and Ian Jolicoeur.
Whoa, and we just had, it looked like Marty Eiran, was it Marty? I have to take a look. It might have been Marty who just pulled the plug and left the game.
Yep, it was Marty. I do not see him online anymore, so sorry to see you go, Marty.
Yeah, that had to be a technical issue there. Definitely nothing with his driving, but that moves Gup up to 14th.
So still on board with Andrew Werner in P8, hunting down Ian Jolicoeur.
Closest battle on the track. You're on it.
Looking out the rear view of Ian Jolicoeur's car, looking back at that Ford GT. Menacing look from the front. Oh, and it looks like Ian Jolicoeur may have dropped. And it looks like the entire field may have locked up, or did I lock up? Jack, are you there? Wow, folks, I have to apologize for the fact that we may have lost connectivity here. And if that is indeed the case, we want to apologize for that. It looks like we may have dropped connectivity to the server. It may be on my end. I'm not sure if everyone else was impacted. And with that, I will go ahead and close out the broadcast. Doesn't look like we're going to get back on the server for this. So guys, I sincerely apologize. We're getting half the race in, but nonetheless, I want to bid everyone a good night.